Hello again. This is Gus from Askewed Reviews, and I'm doing yet another episode of Cinema Society Saturday. This one is also late because life happens. Now, if you don't know what Cinema Society Saturday is, this is where a group of us who absolutely love horror movies have all come together. We then each week are randomly given a theme. We then partner up, give our partner a movie that fits within the theme, and then we review that film for you. Now, if you saw my post from yesterday, you already know what the theme for this week is, and that is early 2000s horror. So anything that came out between 2000 and 2009. And I was actually lucky enough to have two partners for this week. My second partner was Ryan from Sinister Scripts Podcast, which, if you're not already following him, you definitely need to go and do so. He and his partner David do the podcast and, of course, do tons of reviews for all sorts of movies, so you definitely need to check those out. And for this week's theme, Ryan gave me the film of The Cave. That's right, I'm talking about the 2005 film directed by Bruce Hunt. So, this is a really fun horror adventure where a bunch of people get stuck in a cave with some monsters. Now, a reason why you may not have heard about this is because the exact same year the movie The Descent came out, and that actually ended up being very widely popular, and a reason as to why you may not have heard about this one as much. In my own opinion, that is a shame, as The Cave is actually a really fun movie to watch. So let me tell you more about the plot for this story to see if it's something that you want to check out. So our film takes place in the Carpathian Mountains, where an underground cavern system has been discovered that may or may not have been looked into before. Since this may be the first time this cavern system has ever been researched, they bring in some of the best cavers in the world, a few scientists, and even a member of a film crew. Unfortunately for this group, some accidents begin to start happening, and now they cannot get out the same way that they came in. Luckily for them, though, the best people to get them out of this situation are themselves. However, though, getting out is not their only problem, as they've now discovered that there are some form of creatures living within this habitat that are planning on making sure that none of these people make it out alive. So the funny thing is when Ryan first assigned me this one, I was like, man, I don't think I've ever seen this one and I'm definitely interested. But when I started to watch it, I realized that I had actually seen this when it first came out into theaters and just never watched it since then. And that surprises me because I like this one way more than I thought I was going to. I do really enjoy the story for this one, and I feel like you get a good connection to some of the characters. And probably my favorite thing about this movie is the atmosphere, the sets that they used for this. Whether or not some were real or fake, they all had such a real rich feeling to the environment and honestly made you feel like you were there. The creatures in the film are also pretty good. They're a combination of CGI and practical effects, and I would say the look of them is a pretty creepy look, but also they maybe could have done a little bit better on those. There are also some familiar faces in this cast, as you have Cole Hauser, Eddie Cibrian, Lena Headey, Morris Chestnut, and Daniel Day Kim. So, at least for me on my scale, I'm going to give The Cave a 4 out of 5. And if you'd like to check it out for yourselves, it is a bit difficult to find at the moment. However, I was able to watch it on YouTube. And once more, I am going to mention you should definitely be following Ryan's Sinister Scripts podcast if you're not already doing so. He and David do have some really great things to watch for content. Also, Ryan happens to be one of the people that I do Creature Madness with, if you want to check out those videos. And one more reason, of course, to check him out is to see the review for the film that I gave him, which was the 2006 film Fido. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Cinema Society Saturday. And if you'd like to see what everyone else in the group did for their reviews on their early 2000s movies, just look up the hashtag Cinema Society Saturday.